Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Well, look, look, man. Like I said, we are here again. Me, you, and whoever else viewing this are here again. Um, it's a blessing to be here. You understand what I'm saying? So today, like I said, we're not gonna be here for a long time. I just want to drop this little, little, you know, little tidbit of knowledge, little tidbit, not just knowledge, but a little tidbit of what I've been thinking about, and something that I'm looking forward to expanding on in the future as well, right? And the in between part of being fucked up and finally free is something that is rarely talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like you in that space where you've been fucked up. A lot of us, I know I'm in my 30s, so I'm thinking most people, some people, everybody's path is different, but there's a time where you get fucked up and you're literally at the bottom, and then from the ground zero, you know, you start a journey where you are destined to be free, finally free. You know, um, and I'm gonna touch on that today. I'm gonna get into it, man. I do want to say this. I do want to say that I appreciate everybody who stops by and views these videos. I appreciate I, I appreciate the people who support the platform in any way. You know what I'm saying? Mental, spiritual, financial, however you can support the platform, please do. You know what I'm saying? We definitely need your prayers. You know what I'm talking about? We definitely, you know what I'm saying, need the support, to keep the goddamn platform running. But um we're here, you know what I'm saying, and we're building and we're trying to build on something that we can make tangible to where um I, I want to build something where people can actually feel safe on the internet. It's being and building a safe space for us as creators or free thinkers, or so you might just want to get some shit off, but not the type of shit that everybody else type of shit off, where it's just a bunch of argument. Not you really ain't saying nothing. But if you have a thought that can be explored here, if you have a thing that you want to promote, and you just want to get to a certain audience, that's what the vision is for what I'm creating over here at the Trill Pill Digital. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, the foundation is laid, and we're already in phase two of what we're doing. And that's why I want to say I appreciate everybody that fucks with me. Loves my platform, loves the content that I put out and that I produce, and gives me the inspiration to do more. You know what I'm saying? On my community wall, I had a post, where I said that sometimes when you're a content creator, right, you're so focused on trying to grow and trying to scale it up. You know what I'm saying? Doing what you can do to try to grow to try to grow the platform, that you kind of not forget, but you neglect the people of your origin. The ones who really, what I'm saying, don't get it twisted. We all want 100,000, 1 million, gazillion goddamn subs. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, and as I've been on this journey for a cool little minute, more importantly, I want the people who want the information. I want the people who want to be here. I want the people who care about what I'm spitting. You know what I'm saying? I want the people who care about the not only the content, but the context of the content that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Shit like this ain't made for everybody. Niggas gotta actually think and listen to what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about you, but I think we are done putting shit in layman's terms for these lame ass niggas. These niggas just gotta get with it, or use ChatGPT or something, but we're gonna keep going on. We can't keep stopping. Hey, this what this means. This what That's why when I get into certain things where I analyze certain pieces of content or pieces of art that were throughout history, I give references and shit like that, so people can also do the homework and we can learn together with me. I don't know everything, so if you see something out of what we talking about that that you can add to it, goddamn me, add to it in the comment section. Hit me from the DM, say, man, can you go live about this shit? Can you go live about it? I have something to add on to this. You know what I'm saying? I'll feel more than happy just to let you rock out. You know what I'm saying? We can have the dialogue. That's the type of shit that we building here over Trip. We're trying to build dialogue for real niggas with thinking minds, man. All the free thinking hustlers and all the people who, you know what I'm saying, like all my niggas who have a thought and idea, but due to this society and the algorithmic trap, we kind of conform to this think like a dumbass, you know what I'm saying? Or, so people who actually have a free thought or have anything other than what's going on out there are going to be shunned and blocked off. And that's why we got to work twice as hard. You know what I'm saying? We got to work twice as hard. And I'm fine with that. It's a marathon. And I ain't never not been cool with that because I knew from the very jump. I didn't know how it would turn out, but I knew from the very jump this is something that's not going to just jump off the motherfucking Richter scale. But nonetheless, this is very important information. This is very, like it's imperative that we get some of this shit out and that we execute some of these ideas because somebody needs this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody needs this shit. So as you can see right now on the screen, I'm talking about somewhere between finally fucked up, not finally fucked up, fucked up and being finally free. There's an in between space in being fucked up and finally free, right? And it's not rock bottom, but it's not the mountaintop. It's but the middle. It's murky. It's an uncertain space between your worst breakdown and your biggest come up. It's also a place where faith wavers. Your identity gets tested and survival feels like stagnation. But it's also where real work happens. And the in between is not a pause, it's the process, right? It's you trying to figure out how to close that gap between where you are right now and where you want to be, who you are right now and who you want to be. Now, the aftershock of how you hit rock bottom, you know what I'm saying? You hit your lowest point emotionally, spiritually, mentally, even financially, and people expect you to bounce back. The people that depend on you expect you to bounce back. But the truth is, there's often a haunting silence after the breakdown. You still trying to figure out who with me, who really with me when I ain't got what I used to have. You're still reeling, you're still raw, and you're healing, and like your healing and healing in general is not linear. So you're not who you used to be, especially if you went through something very traumatic. You're not who you used to be, right? But you haven't become who you're meant to be. You're in that weird in between space. You're in that gray area between black and white. And you grieve the version of yourself that died in the fall. You might have been at grace, you might have fell from grace. Now you're trying to get back up, or you might have been on an emotional high, or you might have thought you had everything figured the fuck out. And then it feels like a rug being ripped from under your feet. You feel what I'm saying? And you have to let that old you die. Erykah Badu was at the Breakfast Club, and she had it's a clip that I have. I should have had it queued up, but she talks about how you have to let that old you die to become a new you, and it's hard because you're so familiar with that old you. Like you're so familiar with the old you that you don't let it die. You kind of keep it alive, and that's why you can't move forward. And then what kind of keeps you right in the middle? You got you with what you used to do, what you used to be in the past, versus what you're trying to be in the future. And you can imagine being in a tug of war versus your past you and your future you, and both of them are holding your arm and they pulling you from both sides, and you right there stuck in the motherfucking middle. You like, God damn, you know what I'm talking about? If any side pull any harder, I'm a goddamn lose a motherfucking limb. You understand me? And that version of you that's in the past, you have to let that die. You know, that part is dark. You know, don't forget it. It's important to have it in mind of how that feeling felt, but don't dwell in it. But remember how that feeling felt for the motivation. You're not able to feel that shit again. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to get past a bunch of that shit to then start healing, and then start healing in a positive way and start doing positive shit. You know what I'm saying? Out of that dark place, even in that dark place, you got to be able to find the light. You know, it's not dramatic. It's just kind of quietly painful, but you're surviving in the shell of old routines, old environments, old relationships that no longer fit your current lifestyle and your current mindset. And everybody loves a good comeback story, but they never talk about the waiting. you know, it's when you're building something new. Every day feels like both progress and procrastination. You can easily see the vision of who you want to be, but you're not there yet. And this is kind of when the imposter syndrome kind of kicks in to a certain extent. When the algorithm tells you that success should be fast and flashy and viral, but your growth looks slow, stagnant, eternal, and invisible. The pressure to be better can feel like punishment when you're still just trying to be. But this pressure is proof. And it's proof that you're no longer asleep to your potential, that you low key just now waking up, and that's something that I've learned throughout my journey of, I always talk about my journey of creating content. We still are in the journey of creating content and building the brands and building and building and building. You know what I'm saying? And being able to understand you can't look to the left and the right. You got to fight your own fight. You got to walk your own path and stay in your own lane and run your own game. You know what I'm saying? And understand what game you're playing and the rules that game has. You feel what I'm saying? And if you understand your role, then that's in my opinion, that's the biggest part. The creating part is easy for niggas who have a creative personality, or you're skilled, you're gifted. For people who are gifted, we already have the creativity down. That's not the hard part. The hard part is getting people to understand our creativity, not through their lens, but through our lens. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks don't understand that, it's difficult when they see people who ain't as creative, or who ain't as thoughtful, or who ain't as, trill as you, or whatever. They just playing a character. When you look at people who they watch characters every single day, and then here comes you, and they wonder why you're not a character. Why are you not a character is what they saying when they say, I think you a hypocrite. Oh, I think you do this and that. It's like, now what you're thinking is, why am I not a character? Why don't I act like these other niggas? And the answer is, because I'm not like these other niggas. I'm different. I'm gifted. I'm skilled. Can't you see that? They can't. And how you got to get them to see that is whatever. And sometimes you can't even really worry about that shit, because sometimes they just might not be gifted enough to see it. That middle space is very sacred, right? It strips away distractions and illusions. When you honed in, when you focus with it, you're forced to confront your ego. You are forced to confront your fears, and you are forced to confront your need for external validation. It humbles you. And from personal experience, it also reintroduces you to yourself. Not who people expect you to be, but who you really are up under the rubble of ground zero, your ground zero. And every setback teaches you something about alignment. Every quiet wind whispers keep going, and that you're not stuck. You solidifying. You ain't lost. You locating your center. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's been hunting, you try to put in the crosshairs and you tracking down something, you trying to, you know what I'm saying? You just own it. You know what I'm saying? You own it until you find your perfect shot. But you got to track it. You got to track it down first, and you got to figure, okay, where I want this shot to be. What do I want to do with this? You know what I'm saying? And then when it's the perfect time, you take your shot. You know, shit. You miss 100% of the shots you don't motherfucking take. So whether if something does, you put out something and does flop or fail, don't look at it as a flop or a fail. Think about, okay, well, maybe let me try this over here. Let me try it over there. You know what I'm saying? Because what might work right here on YouTube may not work over there on Facebook or Twitter and vice versa. A lot of the things that I've done over here on YouTube didn't quite work the way I wanted them to work. But on Facebook, it worked tremendously. On Twitter, it worked. On Twitter, it got different engagement. On Facebook, it got a different engagement. It got people to ask questions. The audiences are different on different platforms. On fan base, I have people questioning, asking me questions and sending me, you know what I'm saying, on certain things. And sometimes I put this shit off of my stories, and I want the feedback from the people who really give a fuck and really care about this shit, because I do. I don't want anybody around that don't give a fuck about what I'm talking about or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I get to this certain point when I'm honed in and I'm focused on it, I'm a different animal and the same beast. And that's what we have to be, especially if you are creative and you're trying to put something out here in any way, you know. But the in between point to where you fucked up and you finally free. Something about ground zero brings you back home. It brings you back humble. You know what I'm saying? And it brings you back to your core, and at your core is that creativity. And I think, you know, God put us on here to be creative. He put us on here to create. He didn't put us on here to be like everybody else. So when you get to that point where you're broken down and you reintroduce to yourself, to your core you, not the character, not not the work you, not to everybody else, but to who you really are up under all that rubble. Every setback teaches you something about alignment. Minor setback for a major comeback. Every quiet wind whispers keep going, and you realize that you're not stuck. You solidifying, and that you're not lost. You locating your center, and the beauty in that, you know, there's a beauty in becoming, right? It's not a space that's glamorous, but it's real. It's where you learn to clap yourself, clap for yourself, not not clap yourself. Pause. Don't be clapping yourself. Hey, goddamn you! Look, don't be goddamn you clapping yourself. Put that all up, freaking motherfucker. Crazy word. But clap for yourself in silence. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate your small wins. Where you stop chasing the aesthetic and you start chasing authenticity. Really, to be honest, you won't even have to chase it. You just start becoming. And when you realize that peace is not applause, is like peace is not applause, is the real prize. It's peace. Being at peace with what you create, being at peace with what you do, being at peace with who you are, because when the come up finally happens, like you won't just be successful, you'll be solid. You'll be deeply rooted. Like, one of my favorite albums, I go back to all the time, Scarface album, Deeply Rooted. It's a beautiful album. In that part of his career, like throughout his career, it's been super solid since day one. So you be deeply rooted when you finally get your final, like when you finally break the surface, and you've been solid this whole time. Say, man, I guarantee you, because you ain't gonna feel no need to chase it, because you got this shit by being you. You'll be deeply rooted. You'll be ready, and you'll know that it wasn't luck. It was labor, and it was every unseen day in between. Every time you came home from work and you spent hours on whatever you're doing, and you 4 hours of sleep, and you back up and doing it again. You're doing it again, and you're tired and exhausting yourself, but you keep motherfucking going. You understand what I'm saying? You keep motherfucking going. You're gonna remember those times where you was tired. You was fucking sleepy. You was whatever. You got work 10, 12 hours after fucking day. Come home, shit, shower, cook you a meal, and get right back on your shit. You know what I'm saying? But to close this out, being somewhere between your worst breakdown and your biggest come up is uncomfortable. It's unglamorous. It's uncelebrated. But it's where your realest transformation unfolds. You know, it's that middle space is a sacred forge. It's where the mask slips and the truth surfaces, and it's where the soul gets sculpted. You're getting resculpted. You're the piece of clay. You're the piece of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you the ceramic. Like, you are sculpting this thing on out. When you know, go through something, you feel on hard time, you falling down, you feeling low, you feeling depressed, you feeling broken. But when you start feeling broken and you put the effort in it, and okay, I'm gonna pick these pieces up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna recycle these pieces. And I'm gonna be a whole new motherfucker. I'm gonna be a bad motherfucker. That's why I feel like in my spirit, in my soul, deeply solidified, can't nobody fuck with me, because I think I went through some of the hardest things in my life already, and I'm prepared, and those things prepared me for the hard times I'm gonna have to go through in the future, because that shit is inevitable. Whether it's loss, whether it's whatever, you know, these things helped me out. It was times where I was at my lowest, where I didn't want to motherfucking be here, but I wasn't ready to go either. I was stuck in the middle, and I had to figure it out. Like, damn, I can't just go out like this. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't just go out like that. I can't go out like that. I can't let that be the end of my story. Well, where do we trying to go? That's what I asked myself. Like, where do we try to go? Where can we go? Where are we going, my nigga? Like, what's next? This didn't happen. You don't lost your mama, you don't lost your granny, you don't lost a couple friends. You know, you done lost your marriage. You failed at that. Like, God damn, what's going on? Like, you're going through a bunch of shit that you just whatever, but you still rebuilding. And that's how I knew that my purpose on here was bigger than what I thought it was in the beginning. You know, if it wasn't for my children, my brother Sean's children, my brother Sean and my dad, like and my close friends, you know what I'm saying? Like my close friends, I wouldn't know where I would be. I can't take that credit for myself. It'd be selfish too. So that middle space where you don't know the unknown, the known unknown is a sacred forge. And it's where the mask slips and the true surfaces and where the soul gets sculpted. And if you're in this space right now, I want you to hear me close as we close this out. If you're in this space right now, don't rush it, don't numb it, and don't discount it. You're not behind, you are becoming. And sometimes becoming looks like breaking, then rebuilding. Like Franklin Saint said in goddamn Snowfall, brick by motherfucking brick. And you building this shit into something that's unshakable. You know, you just gotta hold on and stay strong. The come up needs a cocoon. You know, before a butterfly is a butterfly, it's a goddamn caterpillar. And if that caterpillar done dies, the birds, them birds be trying to eat them motherfucking caterpillars and the worms and shit. You done dodge that, you done slithered your way into a cocoon, then you evolve into a butterfly. You're free. So don't be afraid of that time where you gotta lock in and hone in. Don't be afraid of that. Like that is the most important part of the journey is the journey. It's the in between where the breakdown meets the becoming, you know, rock bottom and rise. My mama used to always say, after you gotta be still. You gotta be still sometimes and let the Lord work. Cause he's gonna work on you. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta, he gonna give you everything that you're praying for. If it's coming from a genuine spirit. It's just you finding out the journey, being able to listen to the signs and take those signs and do something with them. Don't ignore that shit. It's a reason why certain shit keeps popping up in front of your face and in your mind and throughout your daily life. This shit has always been there, but you've seen it through a different lens. You're seeing it through a unique lens, and you can't ignore that. I tried to ignore it. I can't. Certain things started happening a couple years ago after I made certain moves, and I just can't see the world like I can't see it like it was before. I can't see it any different. At first, I tried to ignore it, like, nah, that shit can't. You know what I'm saying? But it's a beautiful thing. It's dangerous because once it's something that you can't want to do. It's something that you've chosen to do. And once you've chosen, you kind of have to follow that path. Like okay, well, shit, if this is made for me, I keep seeing this shit. Let me go ahead and, so don't be afraid of that shit, man. Please don't be afraid of that, man. We need more people like you and I. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas out here are weird and in the motherfucking way. But with that being said, man, that's my time. Yours truly, the Trill Pill. Too motherfucking cool. Jump in the pool. The water don't